paddock with driver Jim Morrill Jr. and actually a new grandfather as well, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Jim, I just kind of wanted to start out. I understand you're a third-generation driver, so kind of take us back and give us some history on yourself and how you first got involved in the sport.
Yeah, that's right. My grandfather was a blacksmith driver. My father the same. And, grew up in the horse business, spent our summer vacations at the barn and living in hotels. And, was as a kid growing up, we thought it was great. We didn't know we were poor and, just loved it it was just a way of life,
Now, do you know how to blacksmith as well?
No, too hard work for me.
I don't know if they pass that on, but you did used to train, I understand, as well, right?
Yeah, I had a barn. My dad and I had up to around 25 at one time at Rosecroft, and I had a barn of my own. Wouldn't consider myself a great trainer, but I made a living, and then when I got into Jersey and started racing day and night at Freehold in the Meadowlands, you don't have time to do all that, so I started concentrating just on catch driving, and that's what I did.
So originally from New Hampshire, where are you living at now, and where do you consider a home track for you?
Well, I live up in Buffalo, but I kind of consider this to be my home track. I've been here for the last 3 years, and I really like the 5/8 and this 5/8 in particular.
I can imagine that's a lot of traveling for you between here and Pocono. What do you love about the track? I understand, the surface, a lot of drivers will mention that, but the paddock is relatively new as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for the horsemen. That doesn't make a big difference for myself as a driver, but it's nice, of course. But just the track itself, it's just got such a nice cushion. Horses go so easy over it. You never feel like you're going to lose a horse. They don't get steppy, 98% of them. And, when you're racing on the small half-mile tracks that aren't so good, you really learn to appreciate a track like this.
Do you have a favorite size track or a preference between a half and a 5/8 or a mile?
Not so much. I like them all.
Yeah. What is that conversation like for you as a driver heading into a race with the trainer? Do you have to make adjustments with your driving style? What kind of questions are you asking them?
Well, I mean, of course you're going to listen to what they had to tell you, especially if you've never driven the horse, because they sit behind them day in and day out. And, everybody's here to make money. So, when they're telling you something, it's for the right reasons. And so you try to do everything they tell you, but, sometimes when the gate opens, things don't unfold as you think they do. But, most of the time you try to do exactly what they tell you.
You had many years of successful driving. You had a few months off. How did you spend your time, and did you learn anything in that time away from the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I spent most of the time playing hockey and, trying to stay in shape, a little snowmobiling, a little skiing, the winter sports up in Buffalo. I had 9 months. I was suspended, and I'm back with a new attitude at the game. I'm sober now for 5 months, and I'm concentrating a lot on that, and just trying to be a better person, basically.
A different perspective, I can imagine, when you're away from work for that long. What would you say is the number one thing you missed about it?
Well, I would say at one point I probably had checks coming in the mail from 8 or 9 different racetracks. Yeah, it was a pretty hefty fine when you look at it from that aspect, so I missed that quite a bit.
Is there any point in your career where you felt like you reached a peak, or you think that you're still learning and still getting better over the years, doing this kind of all your life?
Yeah, I mean, you have your nights where you make mistakes. I mean, it's never ending, it's a tough game, and it's so easy to say, I'm going to leave out of there, and I'd like to sit a 2-hole, and I'd like to do this and like to do that, but it's tough, it's you're never too old to learn, and you just do the best you can.
What would you say is your most memorable win? I know you've had a lot of big ones, but for you, what handful of them stick out in your mind?
Oh, well, last year with Seaward Peelers and the Breeders' Crown was nice. When the Meadowlands Pace with Holborn Hanover. The Houghton with 4-Star Shark was a nice win that night. I remember that one. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. Can't remember a lot of them, but it was a good run.
See what Peelers did excellent last year. What are you thinking this year at this one? She's a really, really good horse.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch, and those are great people. And I hope she can stay undefeated. It would be really special.
What would you have to say for an up-and-coming driver, someone who's thinking about getting involved in the industry? Any words of wisdom, anything you wish you knew earlier in your career that you'd kind of pass on?
Well, for me personally, I wish I was a better politician when I first started out in the game. Yeah, I mean it's really political, and you know, I was kind of a hothead and still have a tendency sometimes to be. I'm working on that still as we go. But yeah, you gotta run it like a business now. It's not a game like it used to be. It's a business, and you really gotta be up on what's going on.
Will you be sharing those words of wisdom with any of your children, anybody following in your footsteps in the business?
No, there's no. I think I'll be the last one in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
So are these family colors of yours?
They are. These are my grandfathers were originally maroon and black. My father changed them to maroon and blue, and these are identical to my dad's.
That's really incredible. So maybe not passing on the driving techniques, but you'll definitely be busy with that new grandchild of yours for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I haven't seen her yet. So.
We're going to change gears a little bit now. I'm going to put you in the lightning round. Just a few quick questions to find out about Jim Morrill Jr. off the track. So tell us, what's your favorite food?
I'm a spaghetti and meatball guy.
What about a TV show that you hate to miss?
Don't have one of those. Don't watch a lot of TV.
Do you watch any movies? Do you have a favorite movie?
I'm not a big movie guy. You know, kind of like watch the news a little bit, and just TV doesn't do much for me.
Jim, I'm striking out here. What about music? What kind of music do you like?
I like the old rock. Led Zeppelin. Stuff like that. Boston, Aerosmith. That kind of stuff.
Do you remember what your first concert was?
I think it might have been maybe Rush.
Oh, that's a great first concert. My goodness. What about your first car?
First car.
You didn't wreck it, did you?
Used to use my parents mostly, but I think my first vehicle was an old secondhand pickup truck.
Now, you mentioned hockey. Do you have a favorite sports team?
Well, I'm a Sabres guy now, being up there from Buffalo, you know what I mean? So I go with them.
Any hobbies outside the sport?
Basically, playing hockey is my passion, really. I love it.
What's your favorite holiday out of the year, and why? There's a lot of good ones to choose from.
I say Thanksgiving for the food, I guess.
Absolutely. I asked you about your colors. What about idols? Anybody that you look up to in the business, or any mentors that you had along the way?
Well, it would have been my father, you know what I mean? I thought he walked on water, and yeah, I still get choked up when I talk about him.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do the interview. Excellent career, so much ahead of you, so good luck, and hopefully we can catch up with you again throughout the season.
Thank you very much.